know. Hi, everybody. We are live. Hey, how you doing? This is the
Hey.
Donna Smith Show. We are here with our panel to get it started because there's some folks that's just taking their time, but that's all right. Show must go on, right, y'all?
Yes.
I
Hey,
want to welcome everybody, and I do want you to know that the topics that we do discuss are not personal. Don't take them personal. They are not to offend anyone. They are just topics of discussion in a grown folk fashion because this is what we do. Okay. And I want to welcome my panel, JJ, Sylvia. We are here
hello,
tonight.
good
And
evening.
I'm trying out the live thing, you guys. I want your feedback about it. It's interesting. It is. And I'm glad that I'm experimenting with it. I think it's a good way to be in the moment and to have a good time. What do you guys think? You think it's a good thing? You think going live is cool?
I think it
Uh,
could be good. It can gauge people. It'll give them
Mm-hmm.
something to look at that's different than, the same old things that we always see.
Yeah.
And if it's something that might intrigue them, they may pay attention.
They may pay attention a little more because it's in the moment, right, JJ?
Absolutely. The thing about it is you got to keep people engaged. You got to kind of have your story ready before you go live.
Yeah, and
If there's some
with me, one of the things with me is my story just be all over the place. You know what I'm
right.
saying? On that note, let's just toast. Let's toast. We do our toast
Yes.
before the show. This is to the hostess with the mostest, Lady
Yes.
D, bringing you grown folk talk and discussion.
Cocktails with Donna.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
JJ, that cup is pretty boss, man. Where you get that from?
I got it from Bed Bath and Beyond, and then I dropped it on the floor. It's still holding together.
It's still holding together.
It's still holding
Hey,
together.
but anyway, yeah. So the going live is a good thing. We're gonna experiment with that here and there, and I mean I'm just really cool with it. Let me get my lighting a little bit better for you guys. Can y'all see me? Okay?
We see you
Absolutely.
bright and clear.
Y'all see me fine?
Absolutely.
Okay. So I wanted to open up. I want to talk about may she rest in peace, our heavenly queen, Cicely Tyson. I want to give respects to that, and
Yes.
she will truly be missed. What a great talent. If we can just give a moment of silence. Thank you very much. Man, 96 years young.
Yes.
Wow. When I heard that, it just really, it hurt my heart. And another thing is, exactly a year ago, 2 days before, Kobe Bryant had passed. So those are two greats that, man, may they rest in heaven. And I just wanted to acknowledge that before the show this evening and, you know, let us know that, tomorrow is not promised. You got to keep doing what you do. And I want to also say too, my condolences to JJ. Your loss recently. My
Thank you.
condolences to you, and may God bless you and your family as well. So on that note, I wanted to talk about a little celebrity gossip. I had been reading a little bit about Tiny and Ti. What was really going on? I mean, you know, it's just talk that there is some sexual things, like they were trying to get people to do these threesomes and this type of thing. And this lady named Sabrina, I guess she's a friend of the family, or she wants one of them. I don't know who she wants, but I heard that she had a little crush on was it Tiny? I'm not
Uh,
sure, but she's saying some things, and she said that Ti put a gun to her head in
Oh,
front of
that.
in
yeah.
front of the kids, and he said, bitch, I'll kill you a few times. And I mean, gossip is gossip, but I mean, I mean, what is you guys take on that? I mean, have you heard anything further? Or do you think all this is just, somebody making up some stuff just to kind of shine a bad light on the celebrities, or what?
Well, to be honest, what you do in your bedroom is your business. And she was close friends allegedly with Tiny.
Mm-hmm.
And if in case he said something of that nature to her, that didn't happen like yesterday, allegedly is really old. And now she's looking for that walk of fame. And some people in this world, they do have, I know a person, her and her man, if he wants a girl, she's going to be in the midst of it. He's not going to be in it alone. So it's some people in this world, it's okay with them. And if that's what you like, that is your business. But when you sitting up here, you got some horseplay. So if you would have said it when it originally happened, people will, believe you more. And we all know that every story has some type of validity to it, but it's the timing of it coming out is the problem. That's why everybody's probably more than likely just blowing her off.
Yeah, and it's sad because you wonder why it didn't come out when it happened. That's the thing that gets me about things. I know that there's a lot of reasons why people don't say, just like when we go back to the Bill Cosby thing, it's everything came out the wall, under the bed, between the sheets, everything came out one by one years ago this happened. And it's like, why don't people just admit or confess when something happened? If something traumatic happened to me in the moment like that, I couldn't hold it no 10, 15 years. I mean, really, maybe
that's a
am I
long
wrong?
time.
That's a long time to hold that inside. Think of the psychological trips that you're gonna have behind doing that.
I did. I held what happened to me over 29 years.
That's a long time.
Right. And I held it because whenever you're a victim of something, you are not embraced as the victim. You are embraced as a provoker. And what was said to me when I did finally release it is, well, why didn't you say something? You always talking. Well, you enlightened me on what a 5 and a 6-year-old is supposed to say.
So when you're that small, yes.
And
what they're not supposed to say.
And what you're not, you always talk, don't do this, don't let people do this, don't let people do that to you. And, even with women, period, we're always looked at as what you should have done. Now, with Mr. Cosby, there's no reason, no woman should have been in his hotel room without her agent. If you're going to meet in a hotel, it should have been down in the lobby area or the cocktail hour. So, being older at my age now, if somebody be like, hey, I want to meet you about this, this, and this, well, we're going to do this in broad open daylight. And we're going to meet in a public place where people can really see something. And that tends to be the biggest issue behind it. I have been a victim of racism on a job, and I've discussed it with people whom I did not work with. They tried to make it seem like, well, you took vegetables to them. So because I took vegetables that I had from my garden to somebody, what are you trying to say? That provoked the environment, or was I trying to become chummy with them?
Well, everybody's going to have a different opinion.
Right. And it's wrong, because when you are a victim and you are a real victim, for you to get that kind of feedback, what do you think that made me do? I have nothing more to say to you. Whatever you say, I'm just
going to keep it clammed in. So you're saying, back to Sabrina not coming out when this first happened, it could have been based on, or even Bill Cosby, the people who came years later. People sometimes look at it as, I'm not the victim. I'm going to be somebody that's trying to stir up something, get some money, or be in the midst of this tabloid stuff. And so they just hold back from publicly bringing it out in that type of arena, you know. And I mean, I get it. I guess I've never been in that situation, and but I empathize with those who have, and I try to think outside of the box when it comes to delicate things of that nature. I can't tell you every situation is uniquely different. People can tell you all day long how they would react when something happens in their,
till it happens.
but when it hits home, that's when you know, because it's a lot of other factors that keys into that. And Sylvia, I'm sorry that you had to go through that in your lifetime. And anybody else out there watching, I do my condolences and sorry and heartfelt empathy. I give that, because I can just only imagine, not to say condolences, I don't want to say that, but you know, I can just imagine what that must feel like, especially being a young child growing up with it all these years.
It has made me very paranoid, and you know, it messes with me. And you know, I always be like, nobody's getting close to my daughters. And
yes,
you know, I don't care who you are, family, friend, foe. You back up, bro, sis. I don't. You know,
and I can understand that making you more, as a man or a woman, it will make you more paranoid with your children and things. And sometimes we could be a little too smothering with them because we're trying to protect them. We're trying to keep them from the same type of things happening. And sometimes we can just be, no, you can't go there. You can't do that. No, they can't come over. No, 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 no. And we're really hindering them too, in a lot of ways, for, you know, living a quote unquote normal life, you know. But
life, you know, we roller skate together, you know, we go swimming together. It's like, hey, you got anything to talk about? You know, talk to me first, you know. I'm open, and you know, and once my older daughter stopped lying to me, she really was like, because she thought that if I lie, I won't get in trouble. No, now you're getting in trouble because you lied to me.
Yeah.
And once she realized, the moment she stopped lying to me, that's when the trouble ended for her.
Well, I think they have to, you know, with rearing our children, we have to make it clear to them, or make them feel comfortable enough in talking to us about anything. And I have to say, even though I was really comfortable with talking to my mom about anything, growing up as a teenager, there's some things I'm just not gonna tell mama. Okay, she had to find out, and I got beat down about it. But I'm just saying, okay, and how you doing? But you know, you know. But I wanted to. I wanted to tell mom, this point in my life, I'm going through this, and I'm doing this, and this is what's happening. But I couldn't. I just couldn't tell her. And I mean, I don't know. I think some people say they talk to their parents about everything. I just feel that it's certain things, you know. I mean, how do you tell your parent, I had sex last night for the first time? I mean,
my child told me, I looked at her and laughed. I said, so you didn't think I knew that? Because the lies she came and told me, it was funny. So I was like, I said, all right. And I laughed because I want that line that open. And when she was like, oh, snap. Hey, honey, I'm not perfect. I had a child at 16, 3 months before my 17th birthday. So nothing that you're going through, I haven't already been through. And that fear is so deep rooted that as an adult, it has no longer became fear. It's just like anger. And I try to home in on it. So I said, with mine, it's going to be an open book. If you want to smoke weed, I don't want you to do it, but hell, I don't know how to roll, but we'll do it together. If you want to drink, I don't want you to do it, but let me be there so you can understand that I'm here with you. I'm not here to hurt you. I don't want you to do these things to damage yourself. But if you're going to do it, Do it with me. Tell me what's going on. Tell me where you are. I mean, because if something happened to you, they gonna be looking at me.
Yeah.
Well, as the parent, yes,
Yeah.
they do. I mean,
Can I
yeah,
add to this,
yes,
please?
yes.
Sylvia, we have a lot of similarities in our timeline. My mom was raped at 3, and
At 3,
she
oh
wasn't
my
able to tell
God.
anybody about it, and she didn't tell anybody until she got much older. And I don't want to go too deep into it, but it was it I'll say it trickled down on us in a way where how she was very protective over us.
Mm-hmm.
And she was the same way. If you want to smoke some weed, you're gonna smoke with me for your first time. You're gonna
Mm-hmm.
have alcohol with me, and she was very open about everything, even talking about death. And if something were to happen to her, this is what you need to do.
Yeah,
So
my daughter, same thing. I do apologize for interjecting, but
no, we
yeah,
open.
my daughter, she knows everything. She knows every
Yeah.
medication I'm allergic to. The girl knows me like a book.
That's a
Now
good thing.
she's trying to be my parent. And I'm like, wait a minute,
Right.
because she
The
is,
roles do switch somewhere down the
Mhm.
line. You know that, right?
Mhm.
I'm not old enough yet. No, I still have a little
Mhm.
bit upstairs, but I
So
do understand what you're saying because we grew up in the era. You, me,
Yes.
Don, we all grew up in that era where what goes on in my home stay in my home. No, it does not. Because when that situation arose, and I didn't care. And everybody knows in my family, don't
Mm-hmm.
tell her because once she find wind of something being wrong, I'm gonna let it loose. And then I'm gonna tell you, I don't care because it shouldn't have got to me. And I did. I let it loose. I don't care who it is.
Yes.
If it was my husband, oh, you got to go, bruh. And I'm telling my whole
mhm.
family what you over here doing because they
Mhm.
not gonna lie and say, well, she knew. And it's like, why
Mm-mm.
do I take the ridicule? I am the weaker sex, and it's not right. And
Well,
it's
life is what it is, and we have to just try our best to try to understand our scenarios and situations. You it's no perfect rule book. It's no blueprint. It
Mm-mm.
is what it is, and we learn and we grow from it with our kids, and we can learn things from our kids too. We don't want to always
Absolutely.
admit that, but we can. Oh boy, we can. Ooh, we can.
Mm.
it
We
was
can
things.
learn a lot,
Yeah,
and
it was things my daughter didn't tell me when she was in high school. And when I told her I knew, she was like, "Why didn't you say anything?" I said, "Because I felt you should have came to me."
Yeah.
yeah, but it's certain things. Yeah, she should have, but it's hard sometimes certain things to talk to
It wasn't
mommy,
anything bad.
mommy or daddy about because you
That's
don't.
true.
You just
Mhm.
think that they're gonna react in a way that's gonna get you in trouble or get you beat down. Back in the days, it wasn't no timeout. It was time upside your head.
Mhm.
So if it was something that just didn't come off right, pow, and you
Mhm.
ducking like what the hell?
Yeah,
And
we were discussing education one day, and I was like, "Y'all in y'all era, it's respected having a learning disability." I said, "Because I don't understand math to this day." And you will get a lesson in African American history. If it was a boy, you can get it. You just hide in the drawers and you still sitting there after you getting this African American history of how people couldn't learn and read and write. And here you got the opportunity to, and you just not doing nothing with it. But after you finish getting ridiculed about being hot in the drawers, the African
oh, she bringing it, JJ. You know what, Sylvia? You know what? Let's stop the draws hot right now. Let's just we're gonna come back to some hot draws, but we're gonna
Well, we
right
were
now.
talking about Ti and Tiny and them, and I was
Yeah,
trying
we
to
went
bring
from
that
Ti
back in.
to Tiny
No,
to draws
it
hot.
it all relates because we were talking about the basically like the statute of limitations on when to say something.
Exactly.
And my main thing, when you got a gun to your head, your whole brain frame is changing. Your whole mindset is different. You're trying to negotiate for your life, and let's just entertain the fact that this may have happened with Ti pointing the gun. and threatening, that person that's on the other end of that gun, their whole life is flashing before their eyes. They, with every move that they make, they know it could end their life, and you're frozen, and that freeze could last for years on end because it's a mental freeze. And I've had a gun pulled out on me. Somebody was just playing with me and pulled the gun out, and I stepped right up to the gun, like, just do it.
Oh,
and
wow.
some people got a different perspective. It scared them. The person who was pointing the gun, they put the gun down. So they were just playing, but I stepped up to it like,
we ain't gonna play these games.
we're not playing this game. So
so you
that's
was
one
ready. You was
perspective.
ready for them to just take you out if that's what they was gonna do.
That's what, yeah. And I
But
wasn't.
or did you know that they wasn't really gonna do it?
If they did it, it just would have been what it was. But they didn't, and I didn't know what they were gonna do. But I knew they were playing. But I'm like, you don't play like that.
Right.
And that was my message. You know, like, I'll step up to it. I put my chest against the barrel.
Yeah.
But but you know, the reality of it, not everybody has that strength.
Exactly.
And they can get frozen, and that's a lot to deal with. And then there's that embarrassment that you may have hunkered down your personality a little bit to try to calm the other person down, and you didn't say all of what you wanted to say. The possibilities are endless, and we can't justify a time limit on that traumatization.
No, we can't, and that could have very well been what she was
if it happened.
Through. Yeah, if it happened.
If
that's
it
the
happened.
thing. But we gonna leave that right there because it's endless. You know, we don't know. We wasn't there. This is something in the news, and you know, it's he say, she say, this and that. But I just hope that it works out for the best for everybody. You know,
Absolutely.
It's unfortunate these type of things do get out there. But on that note, I like to switch gears, and I like to introduce everyone out there, our watching audience, our listening audience, to Sylvia. Sylvia has her own business in skincare, and it's called Chrisley Skincare Line. And she's been doing this for quite some years now. I'm gonna let her have the stage and explain to you what she do, what she has, and how you can contact her, because not only for women but for men. And she has some really good products, because I used to get some, and I'm gonna have to get some again real soon. Sylvia, tell us, what is it that you have and what you do?
Well, it's the all natural skincare line. It started off strictly with hands and body creams and for your hair as well. And that's where it began. But I wanted to expand on it. So it's officially Chrisley Skincare Line. It's all natural products. I make them myself. I make acne cleansers, moisturizers, body scrubs, soap.
Oh, body scrubs too?
Okay.
Yes, I do. I do bath salts as well. And before you have the rose water here, which is, I like the way I designed it. It's a rose on there, and it's a rose water. And what rose water is, it has dual properties. Rose water is good for your face. And I use real rose petals out of my front yard, so I know how they're being grown. I use real rose petals. And what I do is I get them really steamy and hot, and they dissolve. And the rose water is good for facial pH, especially for teenagers and people who have overactive sweat glands, or sebum, which is the oils that come out of your skin. And you just spray it on, and you can use it daily, nightly. It's hypoallergenic.
Okay, great.
Okay, that's awesome.
And then
for
here,
people who have sensitive skin and all of that, it won't break them out.
No, it does not. And in the middle, I brought us this one of my men's body creams. I also have it as well in a body milk, which is more of a liquid. Okay. And this one here, this one is smaller. You actually get to see the actual body milk itself.
Okay.
So you get to see the actual product of what it is. And I have 3 to 4 different fragrances that are designed for men. I also have bath soap designed for men, as well as, so these two, we know what these are. This is the rose water, that you spray on the ends of your hair when you're doing a deep condition. It helps decrease the frizzes, and it's also good for facial pH. This is the
Now,
rose.
will it give you, let me ask, will it give your hair a nice rosy fragrance as well?
It has a rosy smell, but I don't think you would smell it because it's water. It's a water base.
Okay.
So you do it when you're doing a deep condition.
I was just wondering because if JJ wanted to spray it on his twigs, he got right there.
It does have a rose fragrance. It does. It will. It does. It has a really nice, elegant.
Would he be smelling fabulous?
Yes, he will. And then here is one of my men's fragrances. It's a 6-ounce shea butter. This is the Blue Nile. And this one's designed for men, but there's women who like to use it. And it's rich and creamy. It's made with natural oils that your skin can absorb easily. And right now, all of us in the midst of winter season, we should invest in a cream because
absolutely,
our skin naturally becomes drier in the winter. And in the summer is when it's always good to invest into the milks because they're less rich in cream, but it still has the same identical properties where your body can absorb it, but you don't need it to be as thick.
Nice.
This here is one of my ladies' body sprays. This one is Night Musk. It's a nice gentle smell. It's not a rich, strong aroma. And of course, you see the picture itself, gives you what the name is. It's water on the night, and it's Night Musk. And then I have the other one here. This one is coconut. The picture tells you who I am as well. And I'm also working on the ones for the gentleman. And also, this is the hair growth serum. As you can see, there's a little lady on the front. And this product, all of my products are designed by an African-American woman. That's why you would tend to see African-American designs or colors that are more favorable to the African-American community. However, my products are human friendly.
Okay.
So
real good. Now tell me, Sylvia, if someone was interested in finding out more about your product or even obtaining your product, where would they go and how would they do that?
This is my some pictures. This is my flyer. You can go to my website. It's Chrisley Hand and Body dot big.
Hold it up a little bit. Hold it up. Oh, there we go.
Chrisley
Okay.
Hand and Body .bigcartel.com.
Okay.
If you're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or Snapchat, if you type in Chris Lee, you will see the picture come up, and you can go onto my Facebook page, my Instagram page, as well as my Twitter page. The link is there. You should be able to click it, and it will direct you directly to my online store.
And you can order right there online, and there's a shipping fee or whatever. It's items shipped out, or they have to pick them up.
Well, if you want to pick them up, that's fine. I just won't charge you the flat rate with this is what $6.95 for a flat rate mail.
Okay.
If you pick them up, you let me know what time you come in. But if you're gonna come, please respect my timing as well. So if be here, I will meet you curbside pickup only. That's how it's gonna go.
Yeah.
And here's
we have to practice social distancing,
Exactly.
And they wear their mask and all that stuff too.
And then with this one here, like I said, this is one of the men's body milk here.
Okay.
And this is I have plenty of ladies fragrances. Some Sun Kiss. I like this for myself. It has like a rich citrusy orange smell. Smells really good. And this is the actual body milk here. And I'm just going to give you a sample of how how good it's going to feel and look on my arm here.
Oh, that looks gorgeous.
Oh yeah.
It makes
now tell me, Sylvia, can you massage with any of these? Or is it just to kind of moisturize the skin?
Nope, these are extremely good. I don't make massage oils because these are better properties in it. These here, your body can absorb them better.
Okay.
And they're really good. They smell really good. They do. And this is also, you can also use this in your hair if you like. But me personally, I prefer this one here is a blend of essential oils: lavender, tea tree oil, eucalyptus, peppermint, and rose oil
Nice.
and rosemary. What they do now, I cannot grow your hair follicles back, but the hair follicles that's there, it will stimulate like a tingling feeling, and it will stimulate growth.
So if someone is suffering with alopecia around the edges, but they have little bitty, little hairs, little fine hairs, if they rub it or massage it in there, it'll help stimulate those to
Right, but
help their.
with alopecia, that's an autoimmune disease. So that's
Mm.
gonna supersede what
Okay, I
I
get it.
yeah, it's a will supersede. And if you see here, this is one of the this one here, this is one of the scrubs. I have the cinnamon scrub, the brown sugar scrub, and I also have bath salts with different fragrances. I have bath soap as well. Most of my soap in the springtime and the summertime are fortified with roses, just
Mm-hmm.
because just makes you feel good. And
Mm-hmm.
so with my peppermint soap, it's fortified with actual real mint. It's made with
Real mint. That's great. And so, just to recap, you stated that there's a hypoallergenic. A lot of your products are not, because some people are really, really sensitive. Their
Mhm.
skin just can't take certain things. So for the most part, they're all pretty hypoallergenic, where you don't have to worry about breaking out and things
no.
of that
And
nature.
if you look at my face, if you can see, I do my turmeric mask. That's if you can see it, I have like a slight orange tint to me. And if you look a little deeper, you will see that I do have an outbreak in my face. This outbreak is related strictly to covering up because we're in the midst of a pandemic. I have extremely
Mhm.
sensitive skin, and I'm allergic to a lot of things. And I have children. They're eczema. Eczema is an
That's
autoimmune
me.
disease.
Yep.
So yes,
Eczema. Yep. All of
Yeah.
that.
exactly.
It's clearing up, believe it or not. But I have eczema. I had eczema really bad.
Right. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really common with a lot of
Mm.
people.
it's eczema friendly. So you
Okay.
will not have to run the risk of saying, you made my eczema worse. No, I actually made it better, because if you look at my bottles, I'm not downing any of our leading brand people. You can actually find my products. The stuff that's
Yes.
in here, you don't
Yes.
have to look for dye this number and
Mhm.
this. You don't have to look for those things. You can
Yes.
actually go into stores and buy these things that are in my products. You can
Yeah.
go in your own front yard, because I even with my lavender soap, with my lavender bath salts, I actually take lavender that I grow. It's my lavender,
Mm-hmm.
and I just add it to the lavender soap, to the lavender scrub. I not to
Mm.
scrub so much, but more so to the lavender bath salts. And this is what my lavender bath salts look like.
Nice.
Okay. I like that.
And
Well, I just want to make sure that the men know that you have some goodies too, as well as the women. And I want you one more time before we move on, is to give them that information as to where to hit you, how to get to you, and how to find out more about your products.
you can
Um,
find the actual website. If you want to go directly to the website, I would suggest that you use Instagram or Facebook, because with the net neutrality, it's a little harder to find me. So
mhm.
go to Chrisley underscore skincare. That's on on Instagram, and on Facebook. You can either go to two different ones. It's Chrisley Hands and Body or Chrisley Skincare line. They're mine. There you will see the same pictures on this page and that page. They both have the link that will direct you directly to the online store. I'm on Twitter as well as Snapchat.
Okay.
Great. Well, I hope the audience out here, you guys give us your feedback. If you're interested in any of her products, she's giving you the information to reach out. And I think that all of these are really, really good and
This is a
would be
candle.
helpful. That's a candle. Also, there is candles for those who love candles. I know I do. So that's great. Sylvia, I want to thank you for sharing that to us
Thank you.
I thank you again for having me. And like I say, anybody that has a skin condition that they consider to be extremely sensitive, you can hit me up. We can discuss it at any point. There's ways to reach me on both websites. You can send me a message. I will get the message.
Exactly.
I will get back to you. If there's anything, if you are dealing with extremely dry hair, I have things that are even more so than just the hair oil. I have an actual hair cream that is better for children who are 12 and under and has no chemicals in their hair. It's good for chemical fortified hair, but not only does it grow your hair, it moisturizes your hair and makes it much softer and more manageable.
Right. Well, great. Thank you, Sylvia. Yes. So, grown folks out there listening and watching this video, you better get some, okay? Because it sounds
Yeah.
like it's some good stuff. I'm gonna have to contact her myself and because I love to be all smooth and shiny and stuff, and just
And I still got your fragrance. I know exactly which fragrance it was.
yeah, I like my favorite. I just like to be fluffy like that. Lord have mercy. Okay, so anyway, let's get on back. Thanks, Sylvia.
Thank
To some
you.
Thank
grown folk
you.
talk, you guys. We are I usually have an inquiring minds want to know question, and I'm gonna say that to the end. But what I want to talk about now is about hurt, the hurt in relationships. You know, and we touched on it a little bit the last show, but I wanted to reopen it today. Can men handle the same hurt that they give out to women? So, not saying all men. I ain't saying all men try to hurt women because some of them want to love them to death. But there is men who do, I don't know, they operate in just the hurt department. You know what I'm saying? But when it's reversed and they got that smacked upside their head, can men really handle it the same way that women can? What do you have to say about that, JJ?
I'm glad you put I'm glad you put it on me because I don't think it's just limited to whether it's male or female. I think it's the type of personality that you have. If you have the type of personality that just like to play around, or you want to date a whole bunch of people, but you don't want to necessarily let the person that you with know that you're dating a whole bunch of other people,
Mm-hmm.
it's eventually going to backfire, and
They're gonna find out. You
they're
think
going
that?
to find out.
Yeah.
What happens in the dark is eventually going to come to the light. So, in pertaining to men, because I am a man, I'm gonna say no. Absolutely not. I just think, to be honest with you, women are smarter than men in a lot of ways, and um, y'all gonna figure out ways to I'm just leave it like that. Y'all gonna figure out ways to
You
do your
think women are
thing.
more creative in their
They're way more
way of
creative.
delivering certain things than men are?
Yeah, like, and then it comes at us like a shock, like, oh, like, I can't believe you did that. And then you plan this, and then how long did this happen, and why? And you got the dude thinking back, while you done already did the shit.
And
You
already
knew
did
over
it.
it.
So you think that has a lot to do with why men find it harder to deal with the hurt? Once
um
because he's surprised and he's caught off guard with it even happening in the first place, right? Because he
right,
didn't see it coming.
he didn't see it coming, so
It's the shock of it all that kind of
it it,
rattles his
jol-
cage,
it,
right?
it jolts you, because for us it's like, okay, we can go do anybody, but for to see a woman go out and just be with somebody, it's like it's like a more of an emotional thing for the women. That's at least that's the stereotype that's being put out there. I'll say that, because I believe that there's some women that could just go out there and go do their thing and not have any feelings attached, and it's the dudes that's overly emotional and hitting up the woman's phone, and the woman telling you, hey, I'm with my husband, what are you doing? You crossing the line,
But he
so.
already knew she had a husband, right? From the first
Right.
place,
Well,
right? But
then
it's just harder for him to.
you got that side dude who's trying to be the main dude, and you got to know your role. You have to know your role. um,
You
that's
have
the
to
bottom
know
line.
your role, and I
But at the
believe
same time,
you have to be you have to be self-assured and mature enough to play that type of game, because it is playing that type of
Yeah.
game. And why people do it, I don't know. There's a host of reasons. There's insecurities. I don't want to get emotionally attached to anybody, so I'm just gonna do me. And
Right.
some people just don't want to get caught up with nothing, so they just shit. They don't mind if you got somebody else because they don't want you like that. They don't
But
want you like that. They just want to play. They want a boy toy. Or they
yeah,
want a girl toy. That's all they want. So that you can
Mm-hmm.
have 10 women. They ain't tripping. But I know men find that hard to understand when it comes, because most women do want something that's, you know, mushy. We
yeah,
For us, it's
most.
like what we it's like, what did the next person do that I couldn't do? That's the first
Yeah.
thing that we go to, is like, what did this next person do that I couldn't do? What made this next person so special? Why did you choose them? And we can't handle it. We'll probably break down.
Or another hurtful thing is when they leave you, and then you've done everything you could possible to make this thing go, and they will swear up and down you was the bomb delicioso, you was the one, but it just something what, and then they go and marry the next person.
Mm,
And so yeah, it goes
mm,
back to what you're saying. You're going
yeah.
to question, well, what was it about that person that made them go that extra 9 yards when I was here this particular length of time and did everything under the sun for this person
Yeah.
and love them to no end? And then you are questioning, and I think that's where that self-esteem thing and that hurt, all that stuff just mush all up together. And you want to kill a knuckle. You want to just, you want to get, hey, I used to live in the projects back in the day. I still got something. But you just be wanting to do some stuff to them. Like, why you do that?
with women, we're more vocal. We
That's true.
express what's going on, and it's all dependent on that man. Because we call our those so they so dumb and stupid. But if they listen to what we're saying and doing and how we're moving, then he know what it is he didn't do.
Mm-hmm.
And the truth is he's mad at himself. And the only way he can rectify his stupidity is being out of control. Because the thing is, hurt people hurt people. I know that I've said
Mm-hmm.
this before, and
Right.
it's the
That's real.
flat out truth, because I was a hurt person before I was broken. And trust me, I was putting some damage down,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not saying I was right for it, but when the fire was a flicker, I burnt the whole state down and took it by storm.
Mm-hmm.
And a few years ago, one of the people that triggered me with all that negativity tried, no, I have nothing to say to you.
Mm-hmm.
But the truth is, hurt people do hurt people.
Hurt
and
people do hurt
They
people.
do.
and you have to investigate your personal hurt. You have to address it. You have to face it head on.
You
And
do.
if you never do that, that hurt inside of you, you're gonna damage your potential husband, a potential wife, your
Exactly.
Absolutely.
children. Oh, your children. I really feel for them, because they're gonna be the real victims.
They're going to be the real victims, and they're watching and taking in everything. They're mimicking you.
Yeah,
You
and
are their example. So when you're messed up and you haven't dealt with self issues, first of all, it's a domino effect.
yeah,
You're going to keep on bouncing off the same type of negative energy towards your next relationship, your kids, everything. It becomes a revolving door.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
So that's why it's important, even before moving into the next realm or the next person, to work on self. You gotta deal with your
Yeah.
own closet. Your closet is cluttered, junky, dirty, got mats and rats and everything else in it. And you trying to leave your stuff all messed up and move over to, no, deal with your own mess first,
Yep.
Absolutely.
because
Yeah.
it's not fair to the next person. It's not fair to the kids who's watching this thinking this is how it's supposed to be, because now they're going to grow up and they're going to mimic what they only knew.
Yeah. And they're gonna always long for it's the nature versus nurture. You can have two children living in a home where it's volatile, and one will be able to
Yes,
go to sleep,
Mm-hmm.
and
exactly.
the other one will be up just shaking and quivering. And that very child that was up shaking and quivering is going to mimic that household.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And then the one who went to sleep will be the one that the first time that man raised his voice or that woman roll her eyes, I got to get out of here because this is not healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to be like, well, all I did was yell. I didn't do anything bad. But to that person, because the
Mm-hmm.
nature versus nurture and that volatile home has 100% traumatized that child.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And
Absolutely.
it's a sad situation, but it's a real situation.
Yeah, it's
And
psychological. And
to
in the
keep
black
that revolving
community,
door, it has to stop somewhere. It
and I
has to
say this,
stop somewhere.
right, and I say this to the black community, seeking a therapist and having psychiatric help does not mean you are crazy.
No,
It,
it
Yeah,
don't mean you
I agree
crazy.
with that.
it has to be
And that
embedded.
goes for another topic and show. Definitely I want to speak on that, because it really can enhance and redirect it's another person helping you to really identify what's going on with you. It don't mean that you're
Mhm.
cuckoo, but it can really help you get out of that little tiny box that you're in.
Yeah,
I think therapy is a good thing for
it very
those
much
who need
so
it.
is. If you are mentally healthy, you can look at things. And I took
Yes.
psychology. That was a few. I took a few psychology courses. And
Yes.
the midst of learning, I learned a lot about self.
Yeah. Exactly. And I can relate. I took psychology as well. It do help you self-identify. It does. It
Hmm.
really does. And it helps you. I mean, a lot of those type of courses, sociology, psychology,
That
humanities.
Absolutely.
sociology, I don't know. That sociology messed me up worse. It's like,
Sociology is something else too. I was like, why I gotta take this? But it all works together. It
yeah,
does. It
Mm-hmm. It's
does.
all related.
Especially psychology. It is, man, it's the bomb.
it's deep. Psychology is very deep. And my psychologist teacher, and I mean, one day she had us all in there. The class was pin dropping, quiet. She said, any questions? I believe every one of us was in here pulling self apart, working on self.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's really a good thing.
No, it's
Yeah.
So
not.
I say this to my black community: go see somebody. If you are in these dead end relationships that's not working, you're trying to figure out where you're going wrong. It's okay to be alone. Learn to love yourself. It's
Learn to love
Yeah.
yourself.
grow
That's
with
the
Yeah.
the
key.
facts.
And learn to accept the fact. And that touches on some things too. I just love this grown folk talk. I love it
Yeah.
because one question leads to another, one topic leads to another, and it's real life shish 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 shish. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And if you ain't going through it, you know somebody who has, or at some point, especially when you in your 30s and up, you have lived something. And trust me, them 40s and 50s gonna be something else too.
Woo!
You
Okay.
gonna learn something where it's like this stuff you can truly relate. And you have just really got to love yourself. It's okay to be alone sometimes. Sometimes it helps you self-reflect. It helps you identify you. It helps you get in tune with your spiritual, your physical, your mental self. So you can be a better person for that next blessing that comes your way. Because a lot of times when you jump from one thing to another to another to another, you haven't given yourself a chance to even get to know what's going on with you. And you taking
Right.
the same drama from this one to that one to that one. And then you wonder why? How come it, and a lot of times the same dynamics is related that you're having in those same relationships, because why? You haven't allowed yourself to get in tune with yourself. It may not be 100% them.
Hmm.
It never
Maybe
is.
maybe some things that you need to work on.
Right.
To the tango.
I
Nobody can
can
do it alone.
What you say, JJ?
how can I add to I'll say I needed like most of my 20s to figure out who I was because I was sheltered a lot. So I had that going on. Then my early 20s, I'm dealing with having to been sheltered most of my life, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
now my mid 20s to my 30s, I'm like, okay, I think I have it figured out. No, you still got some more work to do. You got to figure it out. So I'm comfortably seated in my 30s. I don't think I have it all together, but I feel like I have a good idea
It's
how stuff's
better.
supposed.
You
It's
feel you're
better.
you're being more accomplished than you were in your
Yeah,
20s when
yeah. My
everything was
20s
more
was a hot mess.
carefree. The 20s is just a carefree time and you just don't
Yeah,
give a shit and you just all over
right,
the place, right? But
right,
your 30s, you start saying, like, whoa, wait a minute.
right. So
And then
people
them
wondering.
40s will slap you upside the head real quick, like, ooh.
I went to the club a couple of years ago, and I couldn't relate to none of those people. I didn't understand none of it. I was like, I'm ready to go home. I couldn't
Yeah,
do it, and I
yeah,
was
I
like,
feel
it's
that
about that
way.
time to stay
Even
home.
the dances now, I'm like, what the
Oh
heck?
Lord.
They hopping all around looking like they got epilepsy or something. I said, okay, okay, are you okay? I
Yeah.
mean, I be like, oh, okay, well, I mean, I just get on to my little two-step high. But
Hmm.
anyway, y'all, we gonna two-step right on to the next little, our little inquiring minds want to know question of the day. From time to time, I get people that come to me and say, "Hey, Lady D, I just want to know, inquiring minds. Don't let them know it was me, but I'm going through some shit, okay?" And so I find a way to present it to you guys and everything. So this is an inquiring minds want to know: does having an open relationship, open, now open can be whichever way you perceive it. I'm gonna get to that too. What is open?
I had to sip
Does
my tea.
having an open relationship mean that a person really don't care about you? Who wants to share, right? So we might as well just keep our status as friends with benefits. What should I do? So this person is in a situation where their mate want this open thing, meaning you can do what you do, I do what I do, but we still come together and do what we do.
Mm, that's the
But
Mm.
whole
does that really
thing.
mean that they want to know? Does that's making them think that they must don't really care about me? Because if they cared about me, why would they want to put me out there like that? I mean, what you guys, what are you thinking out there, audience? I
Ooh.
want to hear from you guys too. But the panel here, what, JJ, you being
I,
the man, I'm gonna let you go first.
I have a friend that decided that they wanted to be in a polyamorous relationship, and both parties agreed. And I
Now,
was
excuse
shocked.
me, I'm gonna cut you off right there. For those
Okay.
who don't know what polyamorous relationship is, explain that briefly.
Okay, a polyamorous relationship is basically an open relationship, but both parties, all parties agree that they're all in a relationship together. So,
Okay.
um, so this is kind of related. So all parties agreed to be in this relationship, and I'm gonna say it didn't work out for the best because in a threesome, somebody's gonna get left out, and somebody's gonna want more attention than the other person.
And when you say
Uh,
somebody's gonna get left out, do you mean that the two are gonna gravitate more towards each other, and the other one is
yeah,
going?
it might backfire. It could be the main person who initiated it, and it could be the other two that they drawn to each other, and they don't want the person who even posed the question. And then you're sitting, then the person who posed the question is sitting there molded because they thought that it was going to work out in their favor, and
Mm,
that's not what happened. So, uh, I'm just gonna say that's you're just leaving it open for more drama and more toxicity to happen. It's not healthy. I could see if you know you just want to have a little fling, a little threesome or something, and you know, but that's risky too. You know, especially if you're a celebrity, you might want to
Mm-hmm.
sign a non-disclosure agreement. But
Exactly.
you know,
Where
you
that
know,
paper at? Where that paper at?
you know, people don't want to sign contracts. They just in the moment and they want to have some fun. But when it's all said and done, and when the sun comes up, people feeling some type of way the next day, um,
All
uncomfortable or
fun and games
comfortable.
to
But
somebody.
does he? But does he? The woman who's asking this, she wants to know: does he really not care for her in the way that she
Uh,
cares for him to be okay with this openness of a relationship?
no,
That's what
it's
she
not. It's
signed
not
up
mutual.
for. That's what
It's
she signed up for. Because if she has to question it, then she knows that's not where she should be. She signed up for that. Trust and believe. When somebody decide, that they want to be in these open relationships, and you say okay,
Mm-hmm.
that means now I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna do what I do, and when I come home, if I have the energy for you this week, maybe I will. Maybe I'll just continue to see
Right.
whatever I'm doing, and maybe you good for cooking and keeping it clean. But when it comes to doing, my intimacy size, I need somebody who or whoever gonna be a little deeper than you. I don't know, but you sign up for that stuff. When somebody
Yeah.
addresses you with an
Mhm.
open relationship, even when you call yourself friends with benefits, you're not the only friend, honey. Hello, news flash.
Friends with benefits is this an old school tacky way of saying
Ooh.
I'm effing somebody else and you too, but I'm getting benefits of yours because it's good and I want to keep you in the loop too. I
Yep.
mean, it just depends on what, hey, I mean, me personally, I think that you're given a part of you that is your valuable self. This is your prize. This is your
Your
good and
body's your
I'm
temple.
receiving yours. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that spread all around to everybody. Now if we just friends and we just want to have a fuck them up, then that's something different. But if I got emotional attachment to you and vice versa, I'm not going to even think and want to be with anybody else. It's all about
Right.
you. And I
Mhm.
want you to know that. You satisfy me. It's all about you. Now, it's a conversation that the couples definitely got to have. And, best to all of you out there who's doing this open thing, but I
Open to
just
BD.
open the VD and a whole bunch
Yeah.
of stuff.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
you
I mean, maybe
definitely
they
open
have
to it.
agreed to not use protection with each other, but use protection with everybody else. I don't know what people come up with that. It's the same as swinging and threesomes, and you have to find the person that is right for you, that is into what you're into. That's what it all
Right.
bottles down to. And if they telling you right off the bat that they don't get down like that, don't think they gonna change their mind in midstream, because they not.
And it's no reason to continue on if that person tell you that that's what they about. Stop.
Exactly. And
It might have
that's
been.
just a grown folk topic, and I just wanted to sprinkle that out there and help this person. Hopefully they listen, they're watching this, and they're getting some feedback about it, and I hope it makes a difference. But what I want to do is I want to wrap up, and I want to ask you guys if it's anything that you want to ask, a question that you may have, or something you want to pose out here to the listening, watching audience. Shoot, this is your time. If not, I understand, because we have
No,
touched on a lot of stuff today.
been a good night tonight.
It's been a good
Yeah.
night. What you, JJ?
Yeah. I'm
Anything on
glad.
your mind?
I just want to say that I've been in quarantine just like everybody else for a year. I don't go nowhere. I order off Instacart and all of those things. I see a lot of lonely people. I
Yeah,
have people add me on Facebook and they just want to talk, and it's
yeah,
getting sadder. So when we talking about self love, this is a time for that. self-reflection and self-love. This is that time to try to figure out who you are, because once things get back rolling, because they're trying to force it, and it shouldn't be. We need maybe another couple of years of quarantine, but that's my personal opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But when things get rolling again, are you going to be ready for that next phase and going out there and meeting people and
going on dates and busting slob and stuff? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, people doing it now.
I mean, when the last time you had a real kiss? You know, just a real bust them up. You know,
right?
It's like you start having withdrawals about stuff. It's like, I mean, what we need to go back to normal real soon. I understand we got to be careful, but I hear what you're saying, JJ.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying.
So I feel for those people who are lonely. I'm not lonely, but I feel sorry for people who are.
Well, I'm lonely.
No,
you're not lonely. Stop it. I'm not even gonna allow her to pull this tonight. You are alone. It's a difference. You are alone, but tonight. Stop it, Donna.
But anyway, okay. And another thing I want to do, I'm gonna close up in the background right there, ladies and gentlemen, grown folks. You see my book, Seduction of a Hidden Diva. That's JJ's copy right there. It was mail, signed, and delivered to him. And we're going to have him on the show to let y'all know some things he do, because he helped me with a few things when it came to that. I ain't going to blast it out right now. But anyway, that is my book. That is on Amazon right now. You guys can get a copy. It's also available through Kindle if you do that instead. I have copies. You can order them from me. I take Cash App, Venmo, whatever it is.
With your phone. They can scan this with their phone. I forgot about that.
Scan that.
You can scan this barcode with your phone,
and that'll send you right to Amazon. And I'm gonna tell you, when I tell y'all, I'm not just saying that because I'm trying to toot my horn, even though I toot. But I'm telling you. When you talk about some hot short stories, I have an imagination that is off the chart sometime. And those short stories in that book is sizzling. It's going to have your mouth drop, and it's going to have you wanting some more. Because I cut the chapters off right when I see you slobbing a little bit. That's when I stop it. But it's good. It's good stuff. And I want to thank everybody who's supporting that. And I want to thank you guys for being the guests on the show, and everybody out there watching. This is the Donna Smith Show. This is what we do. We give up some grown folk topics of discussion. We're all over the place with it. And we just enjoy having you be there. Tell a friend, subscribe to my channel, and we're going to see you next week. I'll be here next Sunday. Let's see. What's the date?
Let me pull up my calendar.
Sunday the February 7th. It's already the 7th. I'll be god dog. February 7th, I will be back, and we're going to have another guest talking about some real estate and all that stuff for us wonderful people who are looking to get into that. And on that note, this is your hostess with the mostest, Donna Smith, aka Lady D, and we're going to see you next week. Bye.
Bye, y'all.